Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's School Enterprise Challenge drop-in session.
तू भी कैमरा बंद करके कैमरा ऐसे बंद होता है। हाँ, ये देखो, ये रेड है ना, मतलब बंद है।
Everyone, please feel free to say hello. Please feel free to introduce yourselves in the chat. Hello, hello. My name is Christophe. Some of you know me already. Some of you have never met me. I'm the manager of the Global School Enterprise Challenge. I can see a few people introducing themselves in the chat. Meenakshi from Vidya Bharati School in India. Hello. Jyotsna Gar from Bosco Public School, also in India. Hello. We've got Danjeet from DAV Public School, Patiala. I definitely recognize that school name. Hello, Danjeet. We've got Prashi Verma from Vidya Bharati School, also in India. Welcome. Do we have anybody not from India here today? Please feel free to introduce yourselves in the chat. Okay. Who else can I see here today? I can see Trisha. Trisha, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you if you can.
Yes, I can hear you. Where are you calling from today?
From Lagos, Nigeria, the Cherub Schools.
Lagos in Nigeria. Great to have you with us. Thank you. Thank you for coming today.
Thank you for having us.
So this is the first of our drop-in sessions for 2023. These sessions are very informal. They are unstructured. So it's just an opportunity for you to come and ask any questions you have about the School Enterprise Challenge. So I am here. I'm available to you guys for the next hour. So yeah, does anybody have any questions they would like to kick us off with? Sarita, was that a question? Oh,
Can I ask a question?
Yes, please go ahead, Trisha.
Okay, like I said earlier, thank you for having us, and I stumbled upon this school challenge on the internet, which I was actually looking for something for the students of my school to participate in internationally, and something to, boost their entrepreneurship skills when I came across this.
Yes.
So right now we have the team that we have so far. What I've just added is our teachers that are there. So I want to know that team now, the students, are they going to be added also alongside with the teachers?
Trisha, that's a really good question. So my understanding is that you are referring to the School Enterprise Challenge online platform. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yes. So the way it works is that only teachers need a login. So you don't need to add students. They don't need their own logins. They can just use yours. Because you can imagine if every student had a login, we would have way too many people on the platform. So what we ask is for the teachers at the school to have logins. And then what you need to do is you need to complete the lessons with your students, lessons 1 to 14. And at the end of each step, you need to submit your documents. and you can do this using your teacher login. So you can log in and the students can type in their answers. You don't need to add all of the students to your account, just add your colleagues.
Okay.
Does that make
because,
sense to you?
Yeah, a lot of sense, because I was wondering how we are going to add all of them, considering the fact that we also want to be careful of not just leaving them on their own on the internet.
Absolutely.
It makes a lot of sense. Thank you.
Lots of students do not have email addresses, so they would not be able to sign up anyway, and we don't want to encourage that. So what you can do is you can just log in as the teacher and, you know, hand them the mobile or the tablet or the computer where you are doing it, and they can type their answer. And then once they are finished for the day, you can log out, and then, you know, the following week you can do the next lesson.
Okay.
And I
Thank
think
you very much.
I want to take this opportunity to say that, you know, it's important when you're doing the lessons, the way it works is the teachers should familiarize themselves with the content first. But then when it comes to providing the answers, you know, when you finished the lesson, when you've done the activity, for example, in lesson 5, when you've done the market research, it's really important that the answers about market research, those must come from the students, not from the teacher. So it's important that the teacher allows the students to express themselves and provide their genuine answers.
Okay, that's noted. We are actually aware of that because we want them to think outside the box, and then whether they are right or wrong, which is the first step to it. Once they develop all those, then we'll be able to, we might not win anything this first time, but I'm sure that with time, we'd have gotten something inside them.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm noticing a lot of new names here. I think some people are in the same situation as you, Trisha. They might be new to the program. Would people like me to do a demonstration, a very quick demonstration of the online platform?
That would be nice. At least it will be an enlightenment.
Okay, so Danjit, I know you have a question and I will come to you in a couple of minutes. I just want to show this because it relates to what Trisha just asked. So let me show this because I think it will be helpful for everyone. So let me share my screen. Can everyone see my screen right now? I'm currently on Google.
Yeah, I can see it.
Great. So if you go up here to the top and you just type our website, which is schoolenterprisechallenge.org, you will get taken to the official School Enterprise Challenge website. And if you click on login, you will be taken to the page where you can access your account. If you have not registered for this year's challenge yet, you need to click on register. But let's click on login and you will be taken to this page here. And you will need to enter your login details. So these are my login details. They are specific to my school and you will have your own login details. Click on login and you will be taken to the school dashboard. So this is your school dashboard. And you can see that in my case, I have 3 teams taking part this year. And they are all at different stages. So this team has not done any lessons. This team has done 1 lesson. And this team has done 4 of the lessons. So I'm just going to take a look at this team to show you how you can access all of the resources you need to take part in the program. So simply click on Access Lessons. And you will be taken to the dashboard of a specific team. In my case, team 3. You can see that my team doesn't have a business name yet because you do this in lesson 3. And my team has only done 1 lesson. So a bit later on, my students will have to pick a name for their business. You can see here that you can collect badges along the way. My team hasn't collected any badges yet. Let's have a look. The program is divided into 3 steps. Lots of you here have taken part before, so you're very familiar with these steps, but I'll explain them anyway. Step 1 is all about business idea. Step 2 is all about business plan. And step 3 is all about actually running the business, really selling your product or your service to real people and making real money. So this is the most exciting part of the program, in my opinion. And this is why we have the big prizes. So let's take a look at step 1. You can see here, it's currently in progress for me. I've completed 1 of the 4 lessons. So let's click on open. And you can see here, step 1 has 4 lessons, and they are very clearly labeled. Lesson 1 is getting started. Lesson 2 is doing a resource assessment. Lesson 3 is about a feasibility study. Lesson 4 is about finances. And then lesson 5, and then finally the business idea document. You need to complete these 4 lessons before you can submit your team's business idea document. So let's take a look at lesson 1 I've already done. So let's take a look at lesson 2. If you click on lesson 2, you will be taken to everything you need to conduct lesson 2 with your students. If we give it a little bit of time, it's broken down into very simple chunks. And what we recommend is that the teacher checks this out first before they even show it to the student. So you need to read the introduction, read a bit about how to teach the lesson. Here we have the lesson learning objective. So I know you teachers, you guys love knowing the learning objective. So you'll know very clearly what your students will be able to do by the end of this lesson. Most lessons have a video, so you can watch the video and you can watch this as a group. These videos are suitable for the students. And each lesson has resources which you can download. So just click here. They all have a mini guide and sometimes they have worksheets. So everything is prepared for you in advance. Then we have lots of case studies. This one is from South Africa and this one is from India. And we have lots of photos. Then we have a quiz for teachers. So this is an opportunity for the teacher to check their own knowledge of the topic. 5 questions here before they teach it to the student. So it's good for you to have a good understanding of the topic before you teach it to the students. And then each lesson at the bottom has a section called exercise for students. So Trisha, this is where your students need to type their own answers. So up until this point, the teacher's involved, but then here, this is the space for the students. So you let them type their answer to this question. So here they need to describe the school business they ran before or the one they're running currently. If you've never run a school business before, you can leave this question blank. That's why it says optional. So this is just, question 1 is just for returning teams. So in your case, Trisha, you'll just leave this one blank. You'll go straight to question 2. And this is about the resource assessment. And you'll need to upload the resource assessment worksheet, which you downloaded up here. Your students filled it out. And then they upload the completed version here. You can upload 1, 2, or 3 files. Make sure when you do the upload that you click save. Then you move on to question 3, which is about brainstorming ideas. Your students need to come up with 5 ideas. You type idea 1 here, idea 2 here, idea 3 here. It's really important that they come up with a minimum of 5 ideas. And then if you want, you can upload a photo, for example, a photo of your students during the brainstorming session, or a photo of your students out and about doing their resource assessment. We really love seeing photos of students in action, and it really helps the judges when it comes to reviewing the submissions to see the photos. So you can simply add a photo, click on the plus, click here, pick a photo from your computer or your phone and upload it. And then when you finished the lesson, you can mark it as complete. Or if you want to leave partway through and come back later, you can just click save as draft. It will save all of your answers, but it won't mark it the lesson as complete. And you can just come back to it another time. You'll be taken back to the lessons. You can see lesson 2 is still in progress. When you mark it as complete, it will change to complete. Once you've marked lessons 1, 2, 3, 4 as complete, you'll be able to submit your document. The business idea document, let's take a very quick look. You'll see it here. What it does is it automatically takes the answers from lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3, and lesson 4 and puts them in a nice document for you. So here you can see I've done lesson 1 and this is my answer that I put in here. So I don't need to actually do anything for the document because it's automatically generated. You can see here I haven't done lesson 2, so it says no answer provided yet. If you want to go and provide an answer, you can click go to lesson or go to exercise and it'll take you to the right place to type your answer. Once you've done all the lessons and you're happy with your answers, just click on submit. In my case, if I click submit, it's going to say, wait, you haven't done lesson 2, 3, 4. And you need to go and do those before you submit. So that's a little bit about how the lessons inside the platform work. And as I said, there are 14 lessons in total divided into 3 steps. And for each step, we have prizes available for the best submissions, and the prizes get bigger at each step because it's, we want people to get all the way to the end and actually do the implementation, which is actually running a business. So doing business management, doing marketing, doing accounting and record keeping, managing the team, thinking about sustainability and development. So I really encourage everyone to make sure that you go all the way to step 3 and go all the way to lesson 14 and submitting your annual report. So I hope that was useful. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen now and I'm going to come back. So that was for you, Trisha. And Danjeet, I know you have a question, so I'll let you go next.
Thank you, Christopher.
Yes, Danjeet.
Yeah, good evening. I just wanted to have a brief of the lessons, though many things are clear from your presentation. We just,
Yes.
what we have just seen, still there is a kind of vagueness in my mind. I still wanted to have a little brief from you.
Yes. So let me get up a document which I think is going to be helpful. So let me share my screen. So this is a document which I can share with everyone after the session, but I'm going to show it to you live. Danjeet, can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
So this is our list of educational materials, and it explains here the 3 steps of the program, which I just mentioned. So in step 1, your students will come up with their very own business idea, and there is no limit to what business idea they can come up with. It can be to do with farming, it can be to do with technology, it can be a product, it can be a service, it can be a small stall, it can be a big company. So it's really up to them to find something that, is suitable for their context, has the potential to make money, and is something they are passionate about. And I really want to emphasize here, most of the people in this room, you are teachers, correct? And
Yes.
I really want to encourage the teacher to take a step back at this point and genuinely allow the students to come up with their own ideas for businesses. And they need to come to a decision democratically. You know, they
Yes.
need to come up with something that they want to do as a team. The teams which come up with their own idea and you know, decide on it in a sensible way have a much higher chance of going all the way to launching it. If the teacher dictates what the business should be, the students won't want to do it and it will not succeed. So that's my top tip for step 1, is really allow the students to come up with their own idea. In step 2, they will create a business plan for that idea. So step 2 is very entrepreneurial. They'll learn about market research, competitor analysis, strength, weaknesses, opportunities, threats, operational plan, staffing, all sorts of really interesting entrepreneurial concepts, which are important for the modern day. And then in step 3, they will need to turn that plan, which is just something on paper, into a reality. And this is, you know, really challenging, because as soon as you try and make a plan real, you face all sorts of challenges. And that's where they're going to practice problem solving and critical thinking and initiative and all sorts of really important skills. So those are the 3 steps. And for each step, there is a number of lessons inside it. And in each lesson, we provide everything the teacher needs and everything the student needs. So some of you here maybe don't know about business, maybe don't know about economics, maybe don't know about market research, and that is okay. We have English teachers who do this program with their students. We have physics teachers, we have history teachers. So you really don't need to already have knowledge of business, but I want to emphasize that. You just need to follow the process step by step, lesson by lesson. You, the educator, will go on a journey with your students. So in step 1, you know, there are 4 lessons and each one has a guide. So lesson 1 is welcome and getting started. So you don't even do anything businessy in lesson 1. You just learn about what the School Enterprise Challenge is. So my recommendation to you all is to go and do lesson 1 this week or next week. You know, don't delay. Don't think you need to do any preparation. You just need to get your kids together. We recommend having at least about 15 kids. You know, 15 to 45 is usually what teams look like. And if it's year 1 for you, then probably you involve 15 students. And if you've been running the School Enterprise Challenge for many, many years, then you can definitely involve more students, or you could have multiple teams. But even if, you know, you should always start every new year, you should start with lesson 1 and then go lesson by lesson. So this is all about welcoming you, and it explains everything you need to know. And there's a video in there. So yeah, go and do lesson 1 as soon as you can. That will be the first step. Too many people register for the program and don't do lesson 1. People who do lesson 1 have a really good chance of going all the way to the end. And, you know, if you go to the end, that's when you can win a prize. And that's how you get your certificates. So make sure you go and do lesson 1 soon. Lesson 2 is about doing a resource assessment. Maybe you don't know what a resource assessment is. Don't worry, because it's all explained in lesson 2. And there's also a worksheet. So all you have to do is hand the worksheet to the students, and they need to walk around the school campus and just assess the resources available. Do we have water? Do we have electricity? Do we have land? Do we have internet? What skills do we have? And it guides them step by step. So they need to ask, you know, about 20 questions, and they need to answer yes or no. And then once they've done that, they need to do a brainstorming session, basically coming up with lots and lots of business ideas based on these resources. Okay. and they need to come up with at least 5 business ideas, but many teams come up with 10 or 20 or 30. And then once you have your list of minimum 5 business ideas, you're going to do lesson 3, which is what we call a feasibility study. Again, you don't need to understand what a feasibility study is because you're going to discover this with your students. The feasibility study helps you assess your 5 business ideas. It helps you look at them critically and thinking, this is actually not such a good idea. This one is okay, but there's a few challenges. This is our best chance. This is our best business idea. Let's do this one. And then in lesson 4, you're going to think about what's called startup capital. So if you decided, right, our business idea is doing a little bit of farming, for example, carrots, and then turning it into juice and selling carrot juice. That's just an example. If you're going to sell carrot juice, what are your costs? You're going to need to buy seed and you're going to need to buy a few tools. So that might cost $5, for example. How are you going to get those $5? It's up to you guys to figure it out. And then once you've done these 4 lessons, you've done what we call step 1. You've got a business idea. And then you move on to step 2. Step 2, I already mentioned, we do lots of entrepreneurial concepts, market research, operational planning, marketing, writing a financial plan. Lesson 8 is quite tricky because students have never done anything financial before. And that's a real important part of the School Enterprise Challenge. This is a part of our program that we love. Students often find it challenging because they are being exposed to the concept of income, costs, profit for the first time. So we're really tackling financial literacy in this lesson. It's a really, really important lesson. And these are skills which they are going to use in their everyday life outside of school. So don't be scared by lesson 8, embrace it. And then in lesson 9, you have your full lesson plan, and you've done what we call estimates. You've estimated how much profit you're going to make this year. If you've estimated that you're going to make $100 or $200 or $300, you need to decide in advance how you're going to spend those profits, because once money can cause problems, right? And we don't want suddenly there to be disagreements amongst the team. Oh no, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do something else. In order to avoid these problems, we have what's called a profit share agreement. Please, can everyone go on mute because I'm getting a lot of feedback. Thank you. In lesson 9, your students are going to agree as a team how they want to spend their profits, their future profits. So they might say 25% is going to go to the school to improve the toilet. 25% is going to go towards bursaries for poorer students. 25% is going to go to charity. 25% is going to go to pay ourselves. We are going to have a salary or whatever it is. The profits from your business are yours. Sorry, I'm getting a lot of noise here. Katie, can I ask you to mute the people who are making noise just whilst I'm talking, because it's a little bit difficult to concentrate.
Yeah, I'll do that now.
I think you should be able to mute all. Okay, so that was step 2. In step 3, you're going to launch and run the business that your students planned. So that means that they need to turn something theoretical into something practical. And that's the most important part of our program. Our program is all about experiential learning. It's all about learning through doing. So we believe that this is when the most skills are developed, because, you might have planned to launch your carrot business, your carrot juice business, But actually, when it comes to making the carrot juice, or when it comes to actually selling it, you're going to face all sorts of challenges. And we want the students to learn that it's okay to face challenges. Challenges are a part of everyday life, and they just need to find a way of overcoming those challenges. And you will be amazed at how good students are at doing this. Again, the teacher needs to take a step back. Do not rush in to solve all of their problems. Allow them to struggle, allow them to maybe fail, and allow them to come up with their own solutions. And you'll be amazed. I'm sure they will figure out the problem, and then they'll start making sales, and they will make lots of money, and they'll be very, very happy with themselves. On average, businesses make over $200 in profit. That can make a real difference to a school, and it's completely up to you how you spend it. We don't take that money from you. It stays with you. They are your students' earnings, and they can spend them however they like. Every team that completes step 3 will receive an official award level certificate, either bronze, silver, or gold, depending on the quality of the submissions. And the very, very best submissions will have a chance of winning a prize, a cash prize. So these will go in front of a panel of experts, entrepreneurs, business people, industry people, and they will pick the best school businesses, and they will win prizes. In order to have a chance of winning prizes, you need to complete these 3 steps by the 23rd of November, 2023. That might seem a long way away, but my tip to you guys is to get started soon. You know, during the year, you have holidays, you have exams, you have busy periods, you have all sorts of things, you know, and you need, so the sooner you start and the sooner you do lesson 1, the higher your chance of completing everything and getting your certificate and maybe winning a prize. So that would be my top tip. This document goes into a lot more detail of what is inside each lesson. We don't have time to look at it today, but I will share this document with everyone who attended so that you have it. And it's also available inside the School Enterprise Challenge platform. You just need to log into your account, click on resources, and you will find it there. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I'm going to come back. Danjit, does that answer your questions?
Yes, I'm much clear about all the concepts of your program, and hopefully looking for the best implementation from our side. I'll try to give my best shot.
Wonderful. I know a few people probably have questions, but I can see Vanita is here, and Vanita Nanda, she's one of our star School Enterprise Challenge teachers. She's been taking part for a very long time. She's actually part of our teacher advisory panel. So she's played a critical role in developing the School Enterprise Challenge program over the years. And, you know, she has plenty of experience. So Vanita, would you be willing to just talk a little bit, just a few minutes, 2-3 minutes about your experience in the program?
Absolutely, sir. Thank you so much. And, the program is in itself so empowering, not only for, students, but also for we educators. I am an English primary teacher, but I think after retirement, I'm going to have my own enterprise. All because of School Enterprise Challenge. Have been associated with School Enterprise Challenge for past probably 7-8 years. And have worked on businesses, and what we have observed is that my greatest observation is never underestimate children. I mean, they are the most innovative, most creative lot of people we can work with, and they have solutions to all the problems. So, as a teacher, our role is just of a facilitator, just as a guide, just to ensure that they are on the right direction. They themselves will give you a lot of options. They themselves will tell, oh, this is the problem. Like we had herbs and cures. So, if the herbs are getting dried, they will give you the solution that even dried herbs can be used to make candies. We can put it under the shade. So, they are full of innovation, full of creative ideas. I think we should believe in them. That's my biggest learning. We as teachers have this tendency to always believe that we know everything. Probably we come with that mindset, but School Enterprise Challenge has definitely changed that perspective. Record keepings over a period of time, we realized that our record keepings have got better. We should document everything, every small, even if we are making a sale, we must click a photograph. It encourages others also, it inspires, and it helps in documenting things, and probably adding value to when we fill our forms. So I think even record keeping, I have learned a lot through School Enterprise Challenge. So I'll say it's a very empowering program, building on confidence. I myself, one of our alumni now, she was such an introvert girl, and when I see her now leading the programs, it's such a delight to witness that she herself is into her own organization, building on skills. So it's like my learning is that whenever I have a problem, I always go to children now, because I know they are the most creative bunch of individuals we have on this planet. Never underestimate them, and believe in them. Yes, they're the actual change makers, and ultimately, the program is all about them. As educators, it's not, we have to be at the back just for the support, just for the push, just for the opportunities, helping them to seek opportunities wherever they can. And I think they all are capable of doing wonders. You yourself will see that how much change children make, especially during sales. Everybody works together in a team, and they get aside with their differences, and they are all together. And the joy that they have when they see the profit, when they donate something, everything builds on their confidence. So I'm really grateful to School Enterprise Challenge for that. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. Thank you, Vinita, for sharing your experience. And I think you've put it wonderfully. And I always appreciate when you can contribute to these sessions, because you put it so wonderfully. You touched on some really important points that I just want to summarize. One is about empowerment. So the program is all about empowering young people, empowering them by giving them skills and by boosting their confidence. So Vinita spoke about teachers taking a step back, trusting the students, and just allowing them to unleash their creativity. And I think that's, yeah, absolutely what the program is about. So I encourage everyone to do that. And then you spoke a little bit about, particularly in step 3, when they run the business and they come together and they have to make sales. I just want to say it again, like step 3 is so much fun when they actually run the business. So try and get through steps 1 and 2 quite quickly. Too many teams agonize over the business plan. They spend too long trying to create the perfect business plan, when that's not what we're looking for. We really want students to launch and run their business. In the annual report, which is the document for step 3, they will have, one of the questions is, how did things go? What challenges did you face? So we give them the chance to reflect on the experience, and actually reflecting is a really important part of learning. So don't let perfection and planning get in the way of launching. I really encourage you to launch and just see how it goes. And then in your annual report, you'll have a chance of explaining, we thought we were going to do it this way. That's what we wrote in our business plan. We thought we were going to make this much money. Actually, these things went wrong, so we had to change it. But in the end, we came up with these solutions, and this is how it went, and this is the amount of money we made. And that's absolutely fine. Like, that's, this is an educational program, and that's the kind of things we are looking for. So yeah, that's a few tips. And Vinita mentioned that her students have a business called Herbs and Cure. So they grow herbs, and then they make all sorts of things from those herbs, medicinal things, snacks, sweets, and so on. And that's one type of business that you can do. And you can also do anything else. You could do farming. You could do, an app for a mobile phone. You could do a delivery service. You could do handicrafts. You could do, the sky is the limit. There is no limit to what type of business the students can do, okay? And teachers often ask me, what kind of business is going to win? And the answer is any business can win. So if you attended our celebration event a few months ago, where we celebrated the prize winners from 2022, you will have seen that all the businesses were completely different from each other. And it's not, the nature of the business doesn't really matter. Any kind of business is fine. It's more about the process you've been through, and the judges, they want to see that you've thought about sustainability, you've thought about social impact, environmental impact. They want to see that you've kept track of your finances. They want to see that you have a good team structure. They want to see that students have a chance to rotate around the different areas of the business. So it's not about the type of business. It's not about the amount of profit that you make. It's about the kind of journey that you go on. And you just need to follow the lesson guides, genuinely. Like if you follow the lesson guides 1 to 14, you have a really good chance of, first of all, getting your certificate, which is, we are Teach Men to Fish, we're accrediting your school, saying you've reached the bronze level of entrepreneurship, you've reached the silver level, you've reached the gold level. So that in itself is amazing achievement. And then if you're one of the very best, you could win up to $4,000 in cash prize. So yeah, please just take it step by step, and see how you get on. I can see a few questions in the chat, so I will try and answer these. So one of them is from Afshin, and you've asked about the deadline. So you said, do we have to complete all 3 steps by 23rd of April, or do we have until 23rd of November? You have until 23rd of November to complete the 3 steps. So you still have a lot of time. I'm not sure where 23rd of April has come from, because that's not one of the deadlines. The deadline, the suggested submission dates are 23rd of May. And we suggest you do the business idea by 23rd of May. And the business idea is quite quick. It's just 4 lessons. And many schools do this in 2 to 4 weeks. So yeah, if you want to be on track to complete everything by 23rd of November, we suggest that you do your business idea by 23rd of May. And then the next submission day is 23rd of August. So that's when we suggest that your team does their business plan. Okay, 23rd of August. Then you launch your business, you run it for a few months. It's important that you run the business for a few months at least. We recommend about 3 months, because we need the students to make multiple sales. It's not enough to just do 1 sales day. You need to make multiple sales over multiple days, because that's what makes a business. If it's just 1 sale in 1 day, that's not a business, that's a one-off project. And that won't be suitable. You need to make a few sales over a few days. Many businesses make sales, every day, because, they're selling snacks, for example. So they sell to the students, or they sell once a week, or they sell, minimum once a month. But really, you need to be, once you've launched, you need to make regular sales, and it's in your interest. The more sales you make, hopefully the more profit you'll make. So yeah, please make sales over an extended period. Then sit down, fill out your annual report, which is step 3, and then click submit by the 23rd of November. So I'll just repeat the suggested deadlines: business idea by 23rd of May, business plan by 23rd of August, annual report by 23rd of November. Of course, if those deadlines don't work exactly for you because you have holidays, because you have exams, don't worry, there is some flexibility, but it's up to you to be on top of things. So that's the question around deadlines. Trisha says, how many teams can a school have at one time? Really, really good question. A school can have as many teams as it likes. So if you decide that you want to involve lots of students at the school, which we recommend, you're probably off having a few teams. For example, if you want to involve 100 students, we would not recommend just having one team with 100 students. We would say probably if you want them to have a genuine entrepreneurial experience where they get involved with all aspects of running the business, you can probably have 5 teams of 20, for example. Okay. And then those teams would each have a different business. We've seen this in many, many schools, particularly in India and in Nigeria. You know, there's one team which is doing a tuck shop, for example, and they run their tuck shop. But another team is saying, no, we're developing an app, you know, and another team is, oh no, we sell stationery, or, you know, they just have different businesses and those can operate independently. And that allows the students, you know, in a team of 20, you can rotate, you can all do the different things. You can have a go at marketing, you can have a go at sales, you can have a go at production. But if you're in a team of 100, it can get a bit more tricky. So it's up to the teacher and the students and the school management to come together and agree, like, how many teams are we going to have? Okay. If you decide to go ahead with, say, three business ideas, so one of the teams is going to make juices, one of them is going to make handicrafts, and one of them is going to do an app, for example. You need to log into your school account and you need to have 3 teams set up, because each team needs to go through the full process. Each team needs to do a step 1 business idea document. Each team needs to do step 2, and each team needs to do an annual report. So you might think that this is duplicating work, but it's not. Let me show you. So let's go back to my school account. I was showing this earlier in the session, and if you missed it, don't worry. So, you know, you can come to our official website, and these are the deadlines. If you click on About and Timeline, you can see the deadlines I mentioned. But if you go to our website, you'll arrive here and you can click Login, and Login will take you to this page here. Put your username, put your password, click Login, and you will be taken to this page, which is your school dashboard. Let me go to the school dashboard. So here, you know, I can really clearly see the next submission date. And if you click on it, you can find out a bit more about the submissions. But you can see in my school, we've decided to have 3 teams because they are working on 3 separate businesses. This means that all the students in step 1 will genuinely go for an entrepreneurial process. They will get a chance to brainstorm. They will get the chance to argue about which business to do, and they'll agree on a decision. They'll all get to do market research. They will all get to do competitor analysis. And that is a really, really valuable learning experience. And then they will all run, each of these teams will run separate businesses, and they will submit separate annual reports. What does that mean? That means that you'll have 3 chances to win a prize. Like, if all 3 teams complete the program, all 3 teams could win prizes. That means you have 3 chances of winning a business idea prize. You have 3 chances of winning a business plan prize, and you have 3 chances of winning an implementation prize. Okay. So yes, it's a little bit more work in terms of what you need to do inside the platform and you know, the amount of activities you need to do, but it's a more valuable learning experience and you increase your chances of winning a prize. And, you know, our recommendation is to involve multiple teachers, right? So Vinita, she is overall responsible for the program at her school. She's overall responsible for School Enterprise Challenge, but other teachers are involved. So if you have 3 teams, you know, probably 1 or 2 teachers could look after team 3, and 1 or 2 teachers could look after team 5, and 1 or 2 teachers could look after team 6. Okay. So it doesn't need to fall on the shoulders of just one teacher. we recommend spreading it across multiple teachers. And then that way, you know, the teachers can help each other. If one of you is ill, you know, activities can still go ahead. And if team 3 is facing challenges, maybe the teacher can talk to the teacher of team 5 and say, hey, wow, finances is hard, isn't it? And the other teacher can say, oh yeah, we already did finances. And actually we found the video inside lesson 8, really helpful. Make sure you watch the video. So please spread the responsibility across multiple teachers and do what Vanita said, which is allow the students to thrive. You know, sometimes us adults, we overcomplicate things. Sometimes you just put it in the hands of the students and actually they do it really, really well. So please allow them to do that. Lots of people in the chat are asking about prizes. So I'm just going to go back to the website, which is schoolenterprisechallenge.org. And if you go on about prizes 2023, we've published all of the prizes for this year. So overall, there's $20,000 available and is divided in lots of prizes. So in step 1, we have 4 prizes of $180 each. So 4 teams will get $180, okay, for the best business idea. And we're doing something a bit different this year where we're going to announce these winners quite early. So don't wait until September to submit your business idea, because we're going to try and announce these during the year, okay? So try and get your business idea in by the 23rd of May. You still have plenty of time. It's very doable between now and then. Then you'll move on to step 2, and we have 4 more prizes. The best bronze business plan, the best silver business plan, the best gold business plan, and then the top global business plan. This is the best business plan of the whole year. And you can see this one will win $1,200. And then people are going to launch and run their businesses. And then they're going to submit an annual report. So the best bronze on your report, best silver, best gold, and the best overall in your report will also win prizes going up to nearly $5,000. So, you know, you need to do the steps in order because you need to do a business idea first. And as you progress through the steps, you're increasing the amount of money you could win. And then I want to tell you very briefly about the special category prizes. These I think are super exciting. So we have, you know, sustainable development. So people who do the best businesses relating to environment or gender, they're going to win prizes. In December, once the deadline has passed, everyone who has submitted an annual report is going to be allowed to apply for individual prizes. You know, there's prizes available for teachers, students, and head teachers, or sometimes known as principals. So, you know, a principal could win $480, a teacher could win $480, student could win $480. So we have really good prizes for individuals. In order to have a chance of winning those, your team needs to submit an annual report in November. And then in December, we'll invite you to send in nominations for best teacher, best principal, best student. And then those will go to a panel of judges and they will pick who was the most outstanding individual or individuals, and they'll win prizes. We also have prizes available for graduates. Again, that's done for a nomination. So Vanita mentioned that some of her students that used to take part 5 years ago have graduated and they've gone on to set up their own businesses. They can win prizes as well. So we have all sorts of prizes. Here we have the special recognition prize, which is done through the public vote. Possibly some of you saw the public vote. We ran this, I think, in February, March. We announced the winner recently. They won $1,000 this year. We've actually increased it to $1,200. So there really are lots of opportunities for prizes. You just need to submit really good documents, run really good businesses, and then submit really good documents. We're getting towards the end of the session, so I just want to make sure I'm answering everyone's questions. Hassan says, will you send record of this webinar? You experienced some connectivity problems. Yes, Hassan. This webinar is being recorded. So later today or tomorrow, we'll send the recording to everyone. Don't worry. Alaji from Sierra Leone, hi Alaji, says, we are currently on school holidays, but schools will be resuming soon. That's absolutely fine. So, you know, in this room, we have people from India, Sierra Leone, Nigeria, you know, lots of different countries. Your school holidays are at different times. Your exams are at different times. We understand that. So we just encourage you to make it work for your calendar, okay? So we've given you some suggested dates to submit. That's also that you do it in time by 23rd of November. But if that exact timeline doesn't work, you need to submit your business idea a little bit earlier or a little bit late, and then your business plan a little bit earlier or a little bit late. And then the important thing is that your annual report is in by the 23rd of November, okay? So school holidays, you need to work around them. What's interesting is that once you get to annual report, you know, step 3, where you're actually running the business, you know, some students find the school holidays a really good time to run the business. Actually, they have more time. They're not in class. That's the day where they rent a market stall, they go down to the local market, and they actually sell all of their products, you know, on those days when they're not in school. So school holidays are not always a problem. Sometimes they're an opportunity. And I think you'll find that the School Enterprise Challenge teaches that, you know, it teaches people to think about things a little bit differently. So, Alaji, thank you for mentioning school holidays. We have a really good question from Kavya Dakal, and it's about the photo journal. So first of all, thank you for mentioning it, and I'm going to show what the photo journal is. So if I share my screen, going back to my account, going back to my school dashboard, all of my teams have their own dashboard. So let's go and look at team 1. If we go in team 1, I'll arrive on, sorry, team 3, sorry. If I go to team 3, here's team 3's dashboard. You can access the lessons for team 3, but you can also access the photo journal for team 3. And you can see my photo journal is currently empty. So you can add a photo by clicking add new photo. You can click here. Let's find a photo that I could upload. You know, this is, let's say this is a photo of my students. I can click here, you know, very sweet photo. I'll give it a title. Let's call it Sales Day. And let's say it was over the weekend. So what was the date of the weekend? Let's say we did the sales day, Sunday market. What was the date? For example, 23rd. April 2023. You can give it a title, give it a description. So you can say, on Sunday, we went down to the market, etc., etc. You know, you can go into as much detail as you like. Then you need to tell us the date it was taken. So we said it was on the 23rd. Don't know why I said 23rd. That's next Sunday. Sorry, I meant 21st. So let's say it was on the 21st. And then, you know, what step does it relate to? Well, we're making sales, so it relates to step 3. And then you need to say, I understand, you know, you have to give consent. You know, we might use this photo on social media, or we might use it for various things. So you need to give consent, you know, and it's important to get consent from the students as well before you take the photo. And then you can click confirm. And you will see here, my photo has appeared, and it's, it's got the title. You can click on view and it will appear here. Team name, school name, photo, title, description. So over time, you'll build a photo journal. And Vanita said this, take photos, every time your students do something exciting, take a photo, upload it to the journal. And then over time, this page will tell a story, okay? And it really helps us to understand how the business is going, and it helps the judges as well when they're picking the best entries. So let me come back to the room and make sure I've answered your question. You said, last year we submitted photos from every month and descriptions with their names in the activity. How can we improve? Well, caveat, I would say that's perfect. If you upload photos every month and you put captions in them, then that's already great. We don't ask for any more than that. Most people don't upload any photos, so we would really like more teams to upload photos this year. And actually, a really exciting thing we're going to do this year is the platform is going to have a community section. So you're going to be able to see each other's photos, and you're going to be able to comment and like on them. So we really encourage teams to upload photos this year. Thank you for mentioning the photo journal, Kavya, because I'm sure lots of people didn't know about it. So my recommendation is take photos as you go along and upload them to the photo journal. Okay, I'm conscious of the time. We've done a full hour. So, I'm sure you're all very busy. You have things to go to. So if you need to leave now, please feel free to leave. I won't be offended. And I'm just going to stay for another few more minutes. And I'm just going to answer the remaining couple questions. Can a different teacher register different schools simultaneously? So this is interesting. We know that some teachers work at multiple schools. So what you'll need to do is you'll need to set up 2 separate school accounts. This is really important, okay? If you work at school A and school B, you need to set up school A first, and you'll need to use your email address for that school, A email address. When you set up school B, you'll need to use a different email address. Otherwise, the system will think that you are logging into school A, okay? So if you're actually trying to set up a separate school, please use a different email address. If you only have one email address, you'll need to create a second one. You can do this for free on Gmail. Just quickly set up another email address, and just, on a piece of paper, note down like, this email address is for this school and this email address is for this school. But it's very important that the schools have separate accounts, okay? Because then within those schools, there'll be teams, and those teams belong to those schools. We don't really want multiple schools on the same account. It's a real hassle for us. It makes it hard for us to understand what's going on at your end. And, if you win a prize, we won't know which school to give it to, and so on and so forth. So please, if you are coordinating the program at multiple schools, different schools, you need separate accounts. However, if it's one school with many teams, that's fine. You just need one account. One thing that Vanita asked was about adding colleagues. Inviting colleagues to the platform. So I'm just going to show that briefly now. So I'm going to share my screen back to my photo journal. So you can easily navigate back to the school dashboard either by clicking here or by clicking here on the left. So I'm just going to click on school dashboard, and it's going to take me back to my school dashboard. You can see here, I can see all my teams. And, I spoke about involving multiple teachers. It's really important to involve multiple teachers. So just click on the blue button, invite teachers. And you can see here, I have 2 teachers here. if I want to invite a third teacher, I just need to type their email address here. So put in a real email address, of course. Please don't put in bad email addresses because it won't work. Put in a real email address and invite. Once you click invite, that person will receive an email with a link. And they need to click on that link, follow the instructions, fill out a short registration form, and then the system will automatically understand this teacher belongs to the school that invited them. So then suddenly, the person I just invited, they will have access to all of this. They'll have access to our school dashboard and they'll have access to all of our teams. So that's something, that's something easy. It takes 2 minutes. You can all go away and do that now. So please invite your colleagues, get them to sign up. So that way you can spread the load. Okay, I hope that answers most of the questions. I'm just going to have a look for any remaining ones. Giotsna, I'm not sure if Giotsna is still here. Giotsna Gower, oh yes, you are still here. You asked an interesting question. If a school is already running a business, do they need to brainstorm for further addition, or can we skip brainstorming and continue that business with some modification? So if you've been running a business already last year, for example, and you come back this year, your students need to sit down. And maybe you want to involve more students. So you'll have the students you already had, bring in some more students, maybe some younger students that have just joined the school, get them involved and get them to have a meeting and say, how do we think it went last year? Did we like our business? And they need to ask themselves, do we want to continue with the same business and make some modifications? Or do we want to close our business and start a completely new one? And it's up to them, okay? So give them the opportunity to start again if they want, or to continue. And once they've decided which path to follow, they still need to go through the brainstorming session. You don't skip steps. The only difference is if you never had a business before, you're brainstorming from zero. So you're just brainstorming business ideas. So, you might come up with, oh, we're going to sell candy. No, we're going to sell pencils. No, we're going to make greetings cards. No, brainstorm lots of ideas and then you'll go from there. If you've decided, no, we really like our farming business. We really like our little vegetable patch. We want to continue with that. You still need to brainstorm. You need to think, how are we going to make it better? Are we going to do it in a different way? Or are we going to add new vegetables? Or instead of selling raw vegetables, are we going to turn them into something and, sell what's called a value added product rather than a raw material? So you still need to do brainstorming, Giotsna. You can't skip steps, but yes, you can keep the same business with small modifications. That's why in lesson 2, the question 1 literally says, if you are already running a business, tell us about it here and tell us how you're going to do it a bit differently. Okay. So yeah, everyone just needs to follow the lessons in order because they really guide you very clearly. Giotsna, does that answer your question? Giotsna, are you still there? Okay, so I'm not hearing back from you, so I'll just assume that that's answered your question. Oh, sorry, you typed in the chat. Yes, great. Very happy to have answered your question. So last question that I'm going to take today, because I want to wrap up now, is from Luliana Costea. So you're from Romania and you've participated in 3 times in SEC, and you said you've learned a lot with your students, which is really great. A question from the students is, why after loading each materials for 3 sections, can it no longer be adjusted? In a real business, we constantly review the strategy. Sometimes we want to add secondary activity objectives, but we cannot return to the first section, namely business idea. So I think you've made some really good points, and you're talking about business in the real world, and you're talking about the platform as well. So everything you've said about business is true. Business is all about doing things and learning as you go, and going backwards and making changes and adapting and so on. So you're absolutely right. That is exactly the kind of entrepreneurial behavior we want to see. So you're doing it exactly right. I think we also need to understand that this is an educational program where there are different steps that the students need to go through, and they need to submit documents because, you know, those documents need to be reviewed. You know, for example, on the business plan stage, we give you feedback. So at a certain point, we need to know that that business plan is ready to be reviewed. So that's why we ask you to click submit, you know, submit business idea. You're kind of saying, this is our business idea. This is what we're going forward with. This is our business plan. This is what we're going to try and launch. And then annual report, like this is what we did. So from a marking perspective, we kind of need things to be at a certain point saying, this is, you know, what we're submitting. This is what we're putting forward to try and get a certificate, bronze, silver, or gold, and to try and get a prize as well. So, you know, from an educational point of view, and from a, we need to like have something where we can say, this is the thing that they want us to review. Because we send these to external judges. You know, I don't review the business plans. We send them to experts. So we need to have something that we can send, and something that isn't constantly changing. So you'll notice that when you click submit on your business idea becomes locked. And then you need to move on to step 2, and you need to work on that. And that's because too many teams will just constantly be going back and making changes when we actually just want them to move forward in the program. You know, if you plan your business and you submit your business plan, and then you need to make loads of changes to your business plan, that's normal and that's fine. You just tell us about it in your annual report. In the annual report, it says, how did it go? What went differently to what you expected? And that's where you need to tell us. We don't, you know, your business plan, it's been marked, we've provided feedback, you need to launch, and you need to make sales, and you need to move forward. Once you've submitted your annual report at the end of the year, in November, for example, you know, we invite you to come back the following year, and then you do business idea again. And this links back to Giotsna's thing of, you know, do we make small modifications or do we start again? It's up to you. So, you know, Liliana, maybe your team up until now, every year they've decided to go with the same business and make small changes. One year they might want to just say, you know, we're done with this business. We want to close it down and we want to start a completely new business. So there's a reason why there's these 3 steps, because it's, you know, we don't learn something very well the first time we do it. It's important to do it multiple times. So we think that repetition is really important. So, you know, in year 1, you do business idea plan and your report. In year 2, you might decide to keep the same business, but we want you to brainstorm again, like how can you add things to that business? Then when you do the plan, you know, how can you improve your plan? How can you improve your SWOT analysis? Go and do more market research. Loads of people say to me, we did market research last year. Do we really need to do it again? Yes, because it's valuable for the students to do the thing again, because they'll be able to do it hopefully better than the last time, because you as the teacher need to encourage them to reflect. Like, you remember when we did market research last time, like it was a bit tough, wasn't it? Like we didn't speak to as many business owners as we liked, for example. How are we going to make sure we do that this year? So they need to go back, do it again, reinforce the learning, do it better. But it's also important from an entrepreneurial perspective. In the space of a year, the market has changed. Do not take your customers for granted. Do not assume that things are the same. So, for example, here in the UK and in many parts of the world, we have a cost of living crisis. The cost of everything has gone up. and people have less money. So your students are going to think, you know, we're selling similar products to last year, but can we really charge the same? You know, do we need to bring our prices down because our customers can afford less, or actually have our costs gone up? So do we need to bring our prices up to cover our costs? There's all sorts of questions they need to have. So yes, each year you go through the same steps, but it's not the same experience because you build on it year on year. And remember that you're supposed to bring new students into the program every year, right? You know, new people join your school, try and involve them as well. Bring in new people, they'll bring in new ideas. So it's constantly evolving. So, Liliana, does that answer your question? Great. Okay, thank you for confirming. So we've gone way over time. It's 1:15 now, so I need to bring this to a close, but I want to say thank you so much for coming to the session. This was the first one we've run this year, and the next one is next week, also on Tuesday, and it's going to start 1 hour later. So if you'd like to come, feel free to come. If you have colleagues who are new to the program, maybe encourage them to come. Or if you know other schools that are taking part in the program, tell them you enjoyed this session and they should come. We'll be answering all the questions again next week. Maybe there'll be different questions, you know. You might ask us about badges. You might ask us about mini competitions because we have a mini competition coming soon. Maybe next week we'll talk about mini competitions. Who knows? So yeah, I really encourage you to come back next week and spread the word, and make sure you get started. Don't delay in doing lesson 1. Do lesson 1 as soon as you can. Okay, thank you everyone for coming. If you have any questions at any time, you can WhatsApp us. Katie, please can you paste the WhatsApp number in the chat to everyone in the meeting? And you can also email us. Katie can post the email address as well. There's the link for WhatsApp. And I think our number is this. And then that's the email address. So you have everything, and we're also going to be sending the recording, and we're going to be sending like the PDFs which I showed today. So don't worry if you missed parts of today. Thank you so much for coming. Bye bye Trisha, bye bye Jyotsna, bye Madhumita, bye Ibum, bye Liliana, bye everyone. Thank you so much for coming.
Hi Christopher, thanks for the session. It was very informative.
I'm glad to hear it. Bye everyone. Speak to you soon.